What up, guys? There is a new protocol that released back in January called Whales Market, and I felt like I needed to make a video on this protocol just because of how unique it is, the amount of traction it's been getting, and how useful of a resource it is to predicting the future prices of tokens releasing, which is going to be a huge thing, especially over the next 2 years. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Now, what exactly is Whales Market? Well, guys, Whales Market came out in the beginning of January, and what it is it's a trustless OTC DEX. So you can trade airdrop allocations, you can trade points, you can trade tokens, you can trade NFT whitelists, and most importantly, you can actually trade tokens of projects that haven't released yet. When you go on Whales Market, it's a little bit confusing to navigate at first, but the big thing that a lot of people have been using, including myself, is their actual pre-market function. And what this allows you to do is it allows you to look at all of these tokens that have been yet to release, such as Stark, which I'm about to go over Stark in a different video in the future. And you can actually see what the price of this token is trading at right now. And you can actually buy it right now before the token even comes out. So for example, I can see right here that the price per token on this site is about $1.85. You also have $1.90, and it's a bunch of OTC different deals with varying amount of Stark. Now, what's really interesting is I use this protocol as a way to predict the future prices of tokens. And it's not always foolproof, and there's a little bit of speculation when it comes into getting into these prices, but it's another indicator that helps me determine my buying and selling strategy when a token finally launches. When Jupiter was on Whales Market, they actually had over $1 million worth of transactions, and Dimension was also on Whales Market, where you could have bought one Dimension for $4, and now it's at $8.20. So you could have legit come on here, bought a bunch of Dimension if you thought it was going to be worth more than $4, which it ended up being, and you could have gotten a 2x in this pre-market. Now, there is risk with it in the sense that you don't know where this actual token is going to go once it actually launches on something like Binance. But if you were someone that ran the numbers and was like, hey, I'd be willing to buy Dimension at $4, you could have potentially put a percentage of the allocation that you wanted to buy of Dimension in the pre-market and then see what you were able to get when it actually launched on Binance. They also have a bunch of other stuff that I don't use nearly as much, such as their OTC market, where you can do different OTC trades with people. And another really cool thing they have is their points market, where you can actually buy and sell the points for different upcoming airdrops. So once again, if you're speculative on what the price of a specific token is going to be, you can actually buy some of these different airdrop points, which to me is very degen. I don't know if I would go this far, but for example, you can actually buy Eigenlayer, which is one of the most hyped up airdrops of the year, and you can buy their points right now. And if you have additional information of how much you think the points are going to be worth or whatever the case is, you might actually be able to get a decent deal on here. But once again, this is a lot more risky and a lot more speculative in my opinion, and I mostly use their pre-market function. Another interesting thing to note is they're also going to have Ruins as well as a whitelist marketplace coming soon for NFTs. And that's why, once again, I wanted to at least bring up this protocol to everyone that's watching, because it's a very useful tool. And I think it's going to be one of those tools that could potentially be more useful in the future for people that are really actively trading in this space. The next thing that I want to cover here is their actual token to see if it's worth getting into this or not. Now, I want to say I am currently not invested in this at all. I'm on the sidelines right now, just paying attention to it, but I think this protocol has some potential because it's very high cash flow, and there aren't any other major protocols that are really doing this. There are some where you can check the pre-market prices and you can buy, sell, all of that stuff, but this is really turning into an all-in-one platform. And it's kind of annoying. There was someone in our alpha group that called this about 3x ago, but unfortunately I did not get in at the time. And as you can see, it came out on January 8th, and from January 8th to now, this must have been like a 1000x on your money. I haven't actually multiplied all these fractions, but it looks like it was at 0.08 and went all the way up to around $4 at some point in time, and now it's at around $2.50. So it was a pretty insane gain if you were able to get into this play early. The current market cap that it's sitting at is around 40 million US dollars, which is still on the lower end. That is still a small cap coin. And then the FDV is sitting at around $230 million. When it comes to the tokenomics of the project, they have 100 million tokens, and they have a 65% allocation towards incentives on the platform, 9.5% going to the team, 7.5% towards liquidity. They have a private sale allocation, airdrop marketing, and security. And the vast majority of the supply, which is the 65%, is going to be a 4-year linear emissions. And this is DAO governed. And I believe right now only 15% of the supply is actually circulating. They also have 0% TGE for their team, which is locked for 9 months. And then it does a linear vesting for 36 months. And then the rest of this is they had the liquidity. They have linear vesting for the private sale, which should end next month, I believe. And then the airdrop as well as the marketing is also vested over a period of time. So overall, still a decent amount of supply to come in, with most of that in the incentives category. As far as the token utility itself, it's directly revenue sharing from the success of the platform. And that's why one of the reasons that I'm interested in this, haven't bought yet, but I'm interested in it, is because if this platform can really expand and grow and really gain a lot of traction, then they're going to be generating a lot more revenue as a platform. And they're taking 60% of that revenue and driving it back to holders that are staking their whales token. And they're also burning 10% of all of the revenue as well. And then about 20% is going towards development expenses. And then another 10% is going to loot revenue sharing. Right now, you can actually go and stake your whales token in order to get their X whales. And their X whales is what is getting the revenue share. And currently, because there's been so much volume, it's actually been averaging a 35.3% APY from their revenue share. That 35% is actually a pretty high number. And I think that if this marketplace can continue to gain traction and adoption, then you have a chance of not only appreciation of the main asset, but then also getting a yield and getting that revenue from it. And as that APY goes up, there's a world where people will buy more whales token in order to cash into that revenue sharing model of the platform. And then you also have those buybacks and burns. So really interesting stuff, especially since this next bull run, we have so many new token releases that are coming out. And you can see here that there's actually been $1.1 million worth of volume already on this new Starknet token, which once again, if you're interested in that protocol, I'm going to be making a separate video on that sometime this week. You also then have the chance of some of their other stuff, such as runes and whitelist marketplace, taking off as well. Overall, I like what I'm seeing with this protocol, and at the minimum, I'm going to be using this protocol just as an indicator to see where I think token prices are going to go in the future. And I'm honestly really excited for their whitelist marketplace to see if they can make a product that really takes off, because there hasn't been any massive whitelist marketplace out there. We have seen some things with Atlas where a lot of projects didn't really want to do that, and now with the Exaverse Discord, a lot of people are buying and selling whitelist on there. So I'll be interested to see how well their actual whitelist marketplace goes. And it'll be really great data, even if I don't use this protocol at all, to see what the market is feeling on all these different releases. As far as me personally buying this token, like I said, I'm still on the sidelines for now. It did go on a big run, and this is usually where you can get burned. But I do think that this is like in a niche in itself, and there aren't that many protocols really doing this at a high competitive level, and they really are gaining a lot of traction. So I'm just going to have an eye on it. Maybe I'll DCA in, or maybe I'll just continue to use this protocol for personal use cases and not actually buy the token. As two final notes of what I wanted to say, we're actually giving free trial passes to anyone that's interested in joining our alpha group Jelly Cubes, where you can stay on top of all of these different plays that we've been making. And we've really been covering a lot of different chains. So if you're someone interested in at least checking it out and learning about some of these different opportunities, just join our Discord in the description, open up a support ticket, and say you'd like to have a trial pass from a video you saw on my channel, and we'll hook you guys up for a week. I'm also going to put a referral link to this site if you guys actually want to use this site and use the referral link. If not, I'm also going to have the link of this website in the description as well if you don't want to use the referral. But yeah, I really just wanted you guys to know about this platform and have your eyes on it for both using it and potentially making a play on it. But yeah, that wraps up the video. Hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.